Golf Central on YouTube is brought to you by the new Paradigm Woods and Irons from Callaway.
Hey there, I'm George Savaricas, and this is your Golf Central update. PGA Tour making their way to the Sunshine State. It is Florida swing time for the PGA Tour, starting this week with the Honda Classic, followed by the Arnold Palmer Invitational. Then it's the Players at TPC Sawgrass before heading on to the Valspar Championship. You can also throw the Puerto Rico Open into the mix, an additional event same week as the API. A significant week for the Honda Classic. What a 42-year run it's been with Honda, and this event, it'll be the last time that Honda is the title sponsor. The new PGA Tour schedule has this tournament bracketed by 4 designated events, making it much harder to track top players like they have in the past. Billy Horschel weighed in on the future of this event earlier today.
Yeah, so this one in Bay Hill, this one's about 90 minutes from where I grew up, and Bay Hill's roughly just under an hour. So these 2 events were big. I've always loved watching them. I've always taken pride in playing in the state of Florida. The one tournament I haven't played, a lot compared to others is Valspar, just where it falls in the schedule, and that's a really good golf course and a course that I absolutely love. It's sad to see Honda go be such a long-term sponsor of the PGA Tour, the longest, sponsor of a tournament for the PGA Tour. It's sad to see him leave, but I've talked to the PGA Tour, and I think Ken and his staff do an unbelievable job. So, they've got to Tour's got to make sure we keep a presence down here in South Florida. It's such a golf frenzy area of the state, and it'd be sad if we left. We had 2 tournaments in South Florida, roughly 6 years ago now. I'm not going to say we're going to not have any. I know we're going to have another one, or we're going to keep a foothold down here, but we got to do a better job of making sure this tournament in this area is taken care of.
Very disappointing, to be honest with you. It's one of the top 3, top 5 courses we play on tour each and every year. What they do for the Children's Hospital here in West Palm. Honda's been such a great sponsor, longest running sponsor. I know they've been working their way out the last few years, so I'm hoping that I love playing this golf course, so I'm hoping the sponsor comes through, a great date for them. They deserve it, and it'd be very disappointing to lose this golf course.
Some changes to the course this year at PGA National. The par 4 6-hole, normally a par 5 on the champion course for just your everyday player, which runs 479 yards. Had 2 of the bunkers removed from the right side of the fairway. Just a brute of a par 4 this week. There were also bunkers removed from 13 and 16 and bunker reductions on 17 and 18. So more on that 6-hole, even though 15, 16, 17 are grueling. They're technically not even the hardest 3-hole stretch at PGA National. On the front 9 holes, 5, 6, and 7 play slightly harder than the Bear Trap. They're the 3rd toughest 3-hole stretch on tour, behind Quail Hollow's finishing stretch of 16, 17, 18, and Muirfield Village. Sepp Straka back in the field this week to defend his title. Shane Lowry looking for his first win on the PGA Tour since the 2019 Open. He was runner-up last year. Sungjae Im, who was the 2020 champion at the Honda. After a strong season on the PGA Tour champions, Padraig Harrington will get a start at a tournament he's won twice before. Jaime Diaz and myself talked with Sepp Straka earlier today. Thanks for hopping on the show tonight on Golf Central. I remember a year ago I was the reporter on site. You caught fire on the back 9 to win your first PGA Tour title at the Honda Classic. Now that you're back on property, what are the memories that come back to you?
It was great. Yeah, I played a practice round today and kind of just reliving the shots that happened last year, especially on Sunday, and just going through those again and talking to my caddy about them, and yeah, we had a great time kind of reliving those moments.
And your expectations now that you're gearing up for your title defense, and a lot has changed in the last year from where you were outside the top 175 in the world rankings to just outside the top 30.
Yeah, expecting to have a good week, but you never know. You just got to put in the work and come Thursday, just be ready to go, and hopefully get off to a little faster start this year than I did last year, and try to put myself in contention again.
Yeah, Sepp, what have been the key improvements you've made, whether physically or technically or mentally, with John Tillery sort of leading you through a new path of golf instruction?
Yeah, we kind of got the club more on plane. It was kind of steep and across when we started working together and kind of out in front of it. So a little bit of some swing stuff, I think, is the biggest thing. And then I think another thing is just having structured practices, not kind of just going to hit balls to figure it out, but actually working on some things as kind of a long-term plan.
Sepp, you took the really traditional route going from Austria to Athens, Georgia to play college golf. As you reflect on that journey and becoming the first PGA Tour winner from Austria, what's it been like?
It's been awesome. Just so blessed to have the parents that I do and have the people around me that I do. You know, my parents kind of early on decided that if my brother and I really wanted to get into golf, that they were going to be behind us, and they definitely were. And I have them to thank for where I am right now. And yeah, very blessed in that regard.
Sepp, when and how did you get the nickname Ox? And do you get called that out of the PGA Tour?
Not as much on the PGA Tour. That was a college nickname for sure, but it still floats around here a little bit. My assistant coach at Georgia, Doug, I guess Jim Douglas, he came up with it. Reminded me, I reminded him of Dewey Oxberger from the movie Stripes, and and so yeah, that's kind of where it came from, and it's stuck ever since.
It is an old school classic, Stripes. It's a Ryder Cup year. Obviously, there's anticipating a lot of change with how the European Ryder Cup team has looked in years past compared to what we may see in 2023 in Rome. You just played the Hero Cup and won. How important would it be to you to make this European Ryder Cup team?
It would be amazing. It's always been a dream, obviously, growing up. You know, you make a putt to win the Masters, the Ryder Cup. Those are the first two that come to mind, right? So, yeah, it's always been a dream. A lot of work to go before that. But yeah, it's definitely one of my biggest goals this year.
Sepp, you've now played in all 4 majors. Which one's your favorite, the one you'd want to win the most? And what do you think you need to do in your game to get to that point where you're contending in those things?
Favorite, it's tough. They're all great, right? But Masters, I would say, has always been special. I remember growing up in Austria, that was the one tournament we got to stay up for until the finish. So we stayed up till 2, 3 a.m. Watching Tiger usually win. But sorry, my earpiece is coming out. But as to what I got to do to get there, you know, just kind of put myself in that situation. I've never been in contention in a major, and just try to get comfortable in that environment. But I think the game's there. You know, I don't really bomb it like some of the guys do, but when I'm playing well, I feel like I can compete on just about any golf course. So I'd say just kind of catch fire in a good week and put myself in that situation is the number one thing.
You're a name that golf fans, not just in Austria, but stateside, have become a lot more familiar with over the past 12 months. Have things changed for you outside the ropes in that span? Not a whole lot, I would say. Still, you know, play my golf in Birmingham with the guys, and you know, my wife's keeping me around, so that's good. No changes there. So yeah, I'd say off the golf course, not much has changed really. All right, well, hopefully not much will change for you inside the ropes this week in your title defense at the Honda Classic. Appreciate it, Sepp.